Good morning, Uncle Min. You smiled brightly at the men passing by holding a tray full of coffee. Good morning, Vayani, he replied and left after giving a smile back. You made your way towards the office elevator. After getting in, you sighed, glancing at your watch. It's been 2 years. These years were full of heartache, crying, and healing. Of course, it wasn't easy. In the initial days, you didn't eat anything, got skinnier as months passed by, but then you couldn't just live like that. Vulnerable just because a guy left you. Picking yourself up or ending your life were the only options, and you choose the first one. You got yourself a good job at a well reputed company, becoming independent. Went to therapy sessions, gained confidence and skills. Finally, things were back on track. As the door of the elevator was about to close, you saw a man in his formals running towards you. Excuse me, can you hold the elevator, please? Before he could finish the sentence, the door closed. He groaned and turned to leave after cursing, but the door of the elevator opened, revealing you with a straight face. He turned back at you and smiled nervously, getting inside the lift. Thank you. The door closed and the lift started moving. Did you just call me a... You asked, not minding it much. Excuse me? You called me a... You repeated. Um, no, I didn't. You chuckled. Guess I just imagined it then. Yeah, right. You know, I was trying to hold the elevator for you. Sure you were. The guy gulped nervously and then turned to face you. Look, I'm sorry, it's my first day today. I'm just here to make impression. The door of the elevator opened. Oh, surely succeeded in that. You mocked him before getting out of the elevator. The rest of the day was pretty boring. It was lunchtime already, so you decided to head towards the small cafe beside your office. You always go there as that cafe is really cozy and lively. The soft hum of chatter and the gentle clicking of coffee cups filled the cozy cafe, creating a soothing ambience that enveloped. you in a sense of peace. You sat at a small table by the window, savoring the rich aroma of your freshly brewed coffee. As you took a moment to unwind from the hustle and bustle of the office. Lost in your own thoughts, you absent mindedly traced patterns on the surface of your coffee with a small spoon, letting your mind wander aimlessly. The warm sunlight streamed in through the window, casting a golden glow over the room and bathing everything in a soft, comforting light. As you gazed out at the bustling street outside, your eyes caught movement near the entrance of the cafe. A figure stepped inside, and although you didn't pay much attention at first, something made you look up and your heart skipped a beat. There he was, standing near the entrance, looking just as handsome and captivating as ever. It was Taehyung, your past lover who had once held your heart in his hands. Your eyes met across the room, and for a moment time seemed to stand still. The world around you both faded away as you locked gazes, a silent exchange of memories and unspoken words passing between you. Seeing Taehyung again after all this time brought back memories. The late night conversations, the whispered promises of forever. But it didn't hurt like it used to. You had undergone a transformation of sorts. The pain and heartache that once consumed you had gradually faded, replaced by a newfound sense of self assurance and independence. You had learned to stand on your own 2 feet, to find happiness within yourself rather than seeking it from another. As Taehyung made his way through the cafe, his eyes meeting yours in a moment of recognition, you couldn't help but notice the emotions flickering in his gaze. There was a hint of regret there, a trace of longing that spoke of unresolved feelings lingering beneath the surface. It was clear that he hadn't forgotten you, that the memory of your past relationship still held sway over him in some way. But as you met his gaze with a sense of calm acceptance, you felt no trace of anger or bitterness towards him. The wounds of the past had healed, leaving behind scars that served as reminders of lessons learned and growth achieved. You had came to terms with the end of your relationship, understanding that sometimes love was not enough to sustain a partnership. As Taehyung approached your table, a small smile playing on his lips, you greeted him with a polite warmth. Engaging in light conversation that danced around the edges of deeper emotions left unspoken. How have you been? He asked. You smiled proudly, saying, better than ever. When he last saw you, he saw a broken, innocent little girl, but now that he's seeing you again, he can see an independent woman. You look happy. Dating someone, I guess? You frowned, but later chuckled. Nah, I don't need someone else to make me happy. I love my own company. Unlike before, both smiled. There was a sense of closure in the air, a mutual understanding that what once was could never be again. And yet a shared acknowledgement of the significance of what had been. Glad to know. How have you been? As you asked this, you saw his smile fade and eyes showing a glint of regret and longing. Nothing, just I I missed you. I was trying to find you for so long. Didn't know I'd find you here like this. Why were you finding me? You asked curiously. To apologize properly. I know I should have done this way before, but I just couldn't man up. I was confused about my own feelings at that point of life. Never understood your value until you left. Life went downhill. Really, it did. I couldn't focus on my work. Went home back, but you weren't there waiting for me. There was this emptiness and feeling of regret that I let you go just like that. I didn't try enough. He reached out his hand to hold yours, and unlike the last time you touched, you didn't feel a single thing. Ryan, can we can we try again? Here comes the question you never wanted to be asked. He looked at you with hope in his eyes. You looked in his eyes for a few seconds. Oh, Taehyung, you sighed. Just because you want me now, what's the guarantee you'll keep wanting me? I don't want to end up like before. I've experienced enough. Right now, I'm happy with myself. I'm not confused. I was never confused about my feelings for you. I loved you more than myself, but not anymore. To be very honest with you, can't try again just because you are sure about your feelings now. Things can't always go your way, right? I've moved on, but we can still be good friends. The hope in his eyes died after hearing your response. Of course, what was he even expecting? He was the one who left her. She is right. He looked down, hiding his tears while nodding his head. Yeah, yeah, sure. We can be friends. His voice was shaky. You felt sympathetic. Watching him depart from the cafe, a wistful expression lingering on his features. You felt a sense of peace settle over you. Like a comforting embrace. You were grateful for the time you had shared, for the memories woven into the tapestry of your past. But more than that, you were grateful for the strength and resilience that carried you through the storm. Allowing you to emerge on the other side stronger and more self assured than before. As you savored the last sip of your coffee, the bittersweet taste lingering on your tongue, you felt a sense of contentment wash over you. But that moment was interrupted by one annoying voice from the behind. Oh, Miss Rudy, you here? Ah, this guy from morning, he thought, but he gave him a fake smile. Was I supposed to be somewhere else, Mr. Jungkook? Jeon Jungkook. That's my name. Ah, of course, Mr. Jeon. And I beg to differ, but aren't you the rude one? How am I the rude one, Miss Wyan? Miss Wyan. You were the one who called me stupid in the morning, Mr. Jeon. Okay, bye. And he went away as soon as you bought that topic. What a weirdo. You chuckled watching him leave. You let out a sigh of relief. You were exactly where you were meant to be, free from the chains of the past, embracing the present moment with open arms and looking towards the future with hope and optimism. In that moment, surrounded by a gentle hum of life unfolding around you, you knew that you were at peace with yourself and with the world.